Fresh off the heels of SmackDown 1000, this is the Dougcast. I'm Dennis Farrell, and he's James Ellsworth.
Why didn't you let me say my name myself? I don't like the way you say it. I don't like how it comes out of your mouth, it into my ears, and I'm sure the Dougcast listeners don't like it either. I'm James Ellsworth, and you're listening to the Dougcast. Let's get started, Dennis.
James, we have a lot to get to. We're going to talk about SmackDown 1000, our weekend together. By the way, we do have a phone line now, and I just want to throw this out. And I put this out there in a snarky tweet, and I apologize if it came off crabby, but we have this new hotline, and the hotline is for you, the fans, to call and leave a voicemail with a question or a comment, and we will play off your question or comment. We had, James, over 80 calls, which is phenomenal. Only 4 people stuck around long enough to leave a voicemail.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are calling thinking they're going to be talking to me because obviously nobody wants to talk to you. But here's the thing. You're not going to talk to me on the phone. If you leave your phone number, maybe I'll surprise you and call you back because I like to do that sort of thing. But, yeah, you're not going to talk to me if you call the hotline. You will. It's a hotline that you can leave a question on, a voicemail, and we will answer your question here on the Dougcast.
231-930-2053. Call, leave a voicemail. We have a couple now. Should we get to at least one of them right now?
I think we save them all for the end. Let's get through what we need to get through, and we'll do all the calls at the end of the show here on the Dougcast because I just want to tackle them all at the same time.
Well, let's start with you were the darling of the dirt sheets. I believe it was yesterday or today. I asked you about it. I didn't tell you what the rumor was, but you were the darling of it, and you didn't even know that dirt sheets picked you up like crazy.
Okay.
So the rumor came out yesterday that Impact had offered you, I believe it was this week, a contract. And it said you were gracious and you declined it. I know that you showed up. You did the Bound for Glory pay-per-view, which I thought it was great. We'll talk a little bit about that and how that came together. But I just want to ask you right out the bat, did Impact offer you a contract?
Did they or did they not? I will not answer that. I'm not going to give those dirt sheet writers what they want. I have a very good relationship with Impact Wrestling. Love Sanjay Dutt, love Jimmy Jacobs, love, I don't really know Scott D'Amore, Don Callis too well, but, I've met Scott D'Amore a handful of times, always got along with him. Seems like a great dude, Don Callis. Had a lot of fun there. It was a good time, but I'm not going to say if they did or not.
Boy.
Because I want people to not be sure about James Ellsworth. That's what I want. I want to keep them guessing. Going forward, am I going to show up in Impact? Am I going to show up at WWE? Am I going to show up, in front of your house? Like, I want them to keep guessing. That's what I want.
You almost did both in the same week, and I compared it to almost a Lex Luger kind of thing when he showed up from WWE to WCW when they first launched Nitro. It really had that feel where you pop up on Bound for Glory. We'll talk a little bit about how that came together here in a minute.
I did do both in the same week. You didn't see my WWE.com exclusives all over the internet. It's on their Twitter. It's on their YouTube page. It's on their Facebook. Like, you haven't seen that, Dennis? You haven't been looking out for James Ellsworth? I was a small part of what happened last night, and you need to appreciate that.
Do you feel like both of those appearances should go down in history, almost Lex Luger-esque? Because there was one more other person that did it too, right?
Oh, Rick Rude did it.
There it is.
The infamous, he popped up in the same day, at the same time, because Raw was preempted, not preempted, pre-recorded, and Nitro was live, so he was on TV at the same time, which was legendary, and people were still talking about it too this day. And what I did was, not as cool, but like I said, I have a good relationship with WWE and with Impact, and I had a blast being in both locker rooms this past week. It was a good time.
With the way the new wrestling world is today, with New Japan and Ring of Honor, Impact, and Lucha Underground, all kind of buddying up. If this was 5 years earlier, do you think what you did with Bound for Glory and SmackDown would have happened?
No, it's a new era here in the wrestling business. It's like people are more free to do what they want now than ever. There's many places to go. Actually, when Ring of Honor was in Baltimore on Friday, and I went backstage and hung out and filmed something that'll be coming out soon. I'm not going to say what it's for. I'll keep people guessing on that too. Duh. But yeah, man, like it's crazy. I was in all three locker rooms: Ring of Honor, Impact, and WWE within, I don't know, 120 hours of each other.
And
It's crazy.
what are you doing this weekend?
Well, Friday I'm going to Tampa. Check out Tampa, Florida. Check out my Instagram for info on that. My Twitter, as always, I'll put it out there. Saturday I'm in Virginia for AWE, staying as the big headliner on that show. I'm signing autographs, taking pictures, and I'm facing Victoria for the intergender title this Saturday. And then, of course, we all, like we had Dave Logano on before at NWA 70 on Sunday in Nashville, Tennessee. So I'm very busy this weekend.
So in less than, I'd say, 8 days, you've done Ring of Honor, Impact, WWE, and NWA.
Well, I didn't do Ring of Honor. I was not on the show.
But you were
I
there.
did
You were
record something that will come out soon.
But that still counts as kind of doing it,
it's-
right?
Well, what do you count as doing it? You need to, you and your Blue Chew. BlueChew.com, hashtag, well, not hashtag, promo code Ellsworth, and get yourself some goodies.
You participated. How about that?
You're just...
I'm digging. I'm asking. I'm not asking what you did, but I'm just saying what you...
I'm not going to tell you what I did. I was back there. It was a good show. Everybody in the locker room was cool. I had some great Chinese food there in Arbutus, Maryland. Firewalk, Firewok. Shout out to them. I'm actually going to get some tomorrow now that I think about it. Best Chinese food I've ever ate in my life. Me and Facade went out there. Shout out to Facade. And, man, it was the best Chinese food ever. That's all I'm going to tell you. And that's all I'm going to touch on. Moving on, brother.
No, I wasn't digging. I'm just was illustrating how in demand you are. 8 days, and here you are, just from Impact to WWE to NWA. It's amazing.
Man, I'm trying my best. I have a family to feed, and this is how I do it, and I love doing it. The wrestling business is what I do for a living. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me, being able to do it for a living, and I'm going to do it as much as possible, as many places as possible, and make as much money as possible for my family. So that's where I'm at with that.
So I'm going to start digging now for why the people are here. Let's go back to Impact. You pop up as Eli Drake's surprise. Talk me through how that came about. Who contacted you? How did the ball start getting rolling on you showing up at Impact for one night only?
Well, Sanjay Dutt, I've known him for 10 years. I have a lot of respect for him. I think he's a very, very underrated wrestler. And I don't mean underrated from like an in-ring standpoint, because I think if you ask anyone, they all know Sanjay Dutt is a great wrestler. But underrated as man, I really think he should have been cruiserweight champion in every single company in the world. He's just so awesome, man, and he's very smart. So yeah, he contacted me and did a spot with the Eli Drake. I jumped on it, and it was that's how it got started, and I was more than happy to do it.
You show up in the locker room, and I've been places when you show up, and it's kind of cool to see established wrestlers come up to you and talk to you like you're Hulk Hogan. Like they're really excited to talk to you.
Yeah, man. Well, I think I'm just a fun-loving little character that you see from television. Plus, I pretty much know everyone. I see everyone on the indies all the time, and I genuinely get along with everyone. I don't want to not get along with anybody. Like I love the boys. I love the girls. Not in that way. I'm just talking about like it's like a brotherhood, like with the fellow wrestlers, and I try my best to get along with everyone, make everyone laugh, and have a good time with everyone.
So you head backstage. Are people asking you what you're doing? Because it wasn't widely reported that you were showing up.
No, I didn't put it out there. I tried my best to keep it hush hush, which I did, and so I get back there, everyone's like, they have my name on the card, and no, but some of my friends, they were like, "Oh, I didn't think you were coming." I thought that was just like we were to throw people off because people don't like. Again, I'm very secretive about what I'm doing, and that's what I like to do is throw people off. So yeah, they didn't know for sure.
You show up back there. I've seen Eli Drake many, many times. He has been a very nice person. He is one of those guys that you would be shocked is really quiet, low key, kind of keeps to himself. You show up. Have you ever met Eli Drake before you worked him here?
Yeah, I did some live events for Impact back in California alongside Big Time Wrestling. I think it was, I want to say maybe March or April. And yeah, I met him then and got along with him. Thought he was funny, and yeah, I've met him before.
Have you seen his YouTube channels? That he has one of the most underrated sense of humors. If you've not seen a chance, go Eli Drake's YouTube channel and watch it. This guy dresses up. He does characters, skits, improv. One of the most funniest guys out there.
Oh, he's very passionate too, man, and he takes what he's doing in Impact seriously and wants to help the place out, and you could tell he wants to be a leader. And man, cool dude.
So you work him, you come back. What's the vibe like? You get to hang out. Because I can't express enough. I was never at any of the TNA locker rooms before the switchover, but being and I've only been in really independent locker rooms, so it's hard for me to compare it. But this is such a different locker room from what I had imagined, because a lot of the guys are sitting in front of the TV. The locker rooms are open. People are joking and having fun. It truly feels like it's one of those locker rooms where if you want to be there, you were there.
Yeah, man, like everybody was cool. Like every locker room's the same to me, man. Like I'm gonna be myself no matter what. And again, I try to get along with everyone, and yeah, man, no problems whatsoever within the locker room.
So you get in the car. Well, do you drive to Baltimore then to DC for SmackDown 1000? How's that work then?
Man, you're already jumping ahead. Let's talk about what happened at Battle for Glory. Like, dude, obviously we live in the social media world. Everyone's thinking Jericho's going to show up to the Impact show, and so like when I get there, I'm telling everyone, I'm like, man, they're going to think Jericho's going to answer this open challenge. It's because this is how what wrestling fans think. Oh, he's rumored to be there, and Eli Drake's doing an open challenge. 2 + 2 is 4. Is what they're thinking. So I'm like, man. Like, they're going to think Jericho's going to come out. They chanted Y2J when they showed the Eli Drake promo on the screen. But anyway, like I was telling everybody before that, I was like, they're going to think it's Jericho, and it's just going to be me, which I'm cool and all, but I'm not Chris Jericho by any means. And I was like, they're going to hate me. They're just going to hate me, but in a fun way. I was like, they're going to hate me. Because, like, my character, dude, especially in front of, like, smart mark crowds, like, they love to, like, just get on me and pickle me and hate me. Like, that's what they like to do. They have fun with the character. So I knew what type of reaction I was going to get before I ever stepped out there. And trust me, from the bottom of my heart, I loved each and every minute of it because I'm very blessed that my character gets that emotion out of people, whether they're cheering for the underdog or they're just cussing out the little, just arrogant, manipulative, like egomaniac that the James Ellsworth character has become. Like I have a character that gets emotion out of an audience anywhere I go, and I'm very blessed to have that, and I hope and pray, and I'm going to continue to work hard to continue to make that happen and get that emotion out of people.
I watched it. They didn't just boo you, but they we won't say it here, but they chanted, F Ellsworth, and
F you Ellsworth, yes. Which it was music to my ears, man. Again, that emotion. What's the last time on a televised wrestling show that somebody got that cheered at them? I think it was New York City. John Cena during the One Night Only against RVD. Maybe that's the last time I remember, like, on a televised wrestling show, somebody getting that chanted at them. I could be wrong, but
it was phenomenal. And you could tell on your face how much fun you were having. Now, you obviously Eli Drake is a heel. How hard is that if you come out as a face to get that kind of reaction to overcome that?
Well, no, with my characters, there's not much you can do. I won't say the word nothing. There's always something you can do. But Eli Drake, you call him a heel. He's cool, man. He's fun. He's got these catchphrases, and the people know him. And he's been an Impact the whole time. That's his house, and I'm coming into his house. There's a lot involved into it. And he's one of those cool heels that people are like, man, that dude's freaking cool, and I'm going to get behind him. And and that's what he is. It's hard to once a crowd like that, which quote unquote smart wrestling fans get behind someone, they can come out there and bash them. And he bashed their home football team because they're 1-5, and which they popped for that because the team is shoot 1-5. He's telling the truth, dude, it's just one of those things where they like him and they're going to continue to like him. Crowds like that anyway. But he's getting a reaction. That's the thing about wrestling. As long as you're getting a reaction, that's all that matters. And he's definitely getting one. He's doing a great job.
You easily got the reaction of the night, by the way.
I don't know about that, but it was loud, and I had a lot of fun, and it was all good, man. It was nothing but good vibes, and like I said, a nice relationship with them, and we'll see what happens in the future. Only thing sure about James Ellsworth is nothing for sure. I don't tell anybody anything. Moving on, good.
So let's move on. Is there anything backstage, a funny story you want to talk before we move on from SmackDown?
Nah, man, I will say this. It was a short little match, but it was a good story, fun. At Impact, where AJ Styles really made a name for himself, I set him up for the Styles Clash. He got and did the pose, and I just thought that was a hilarious spot that I came up with. Very proud of that. But now, man, like I said, backstage was business. Everybody was getting ready for their big night. No issues whatsoever, no problems. I saw a lot of my friends, and it was cool. Nothing but good vibes. But yeah, man.
You've been at a couple Impact shows now, and maybe this isn't a good question to ask, but this is interesting. Is there a wrestler that back there that you've never met that you finally had the chance to meet, and you were grateful that you finally had the chance to meet him?
Conan. I was a big Conan fan growing up. Never met the guy, and I've met him. And, it's just one of those cool things where this is a dude I really liked growing up and I have a lot of respect for. And, it was cool meeting him.
All right, let's move on to SmackDown 1000, which I will say this. The show was good. The ending for me felt very rushed, which, by the way, it was. And I think it took away from a lot of it. You could tell that certain things were cut. You had, was it 4? I believe it was 4 of the past SmackDown general managers, and it felt like a 20-second TV snapshot, and that was it. I was a little disappointed that there wasn't more there. I get that you had to make room for the Evolution, reuniting in the middle of the ring, which was great. Batista won me back over. I was a Bautista guy for a while, I'll admit that. Won me back over. The tease for Batista, Triple H, phenomenal. One of the best teases. I did not see that coming.
That's cool, man. Yeah, obviously it's a very special occasion, and yep. I really enjoy the tease between Batista and Triple H as well, and I'm sure they'll have a match, and I'm sure it'll be good.
Oh man, I hope so. But you get there, you show up. You never really knew what you were going to do. They invited you. You showed up. At what point did you kind of get an idea of whether you were going to be used or not?
Well, I mean, it was always, again, like having something, WWE put out on their Twitter and their .com and, their Instagram and their YouTube. I don't take that lightly. They did do something with me, obviously not on the show between 8 and 10, but they used me on their platforms, and that I don't take that lightly. That is very cool of them to do. I appreciate it every time. But yeah, man, like, I was all, Yeah, there was a plan for me to be on the show. I won't say what it is because they can always use it in the future. And dude, I don't. Here's the thing: I stay positive. I've matured a lot. This ever since the Braun Strowman match, which was 2.5 years ago, I've been through a lot of ups and downs, more ups than downs. I've been very blessed. And if something happens where like I'm supposed to be on the show and I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not going to bitch about it. I'm not going to complain. I'm going to be thankful for the opportunity. Thankful that I'm even there, and thankful that they did a WWE.com exclusive with me. And I'm going to move on. I'm going to keep grinding, and I will. My face will be shown there again. I promise you.
Good. But at what point? Because you like I said, you didn't know. And I'm sitting there watching, waiting, wondering, because you didn't tell me what you were doing or if there was even a plan for you. You just said, hey, just make sure you're watching. Something could happen. So I'm watching. For the longest time, and even at, I would say, the last 4 minutes, it really felt like this could be a 3-hour show. I'm like, is this a 3-hour show or not? Because
it would have been really cool if it was a 3-hour show. I mean, I don't know if they have any control over that. That might be a network issue. I have no clue. But yeah, I mean, I think special shows should be 3-hour shows. That's just my humble opinion. Yeah, I get what you're saying with that.
Yeah, so I kept wondering, all right, maybe he comes out at 11:15, 11:20. And as soon as the Nakamura Rey Mysterio match is over, it felt like they didn't even have time to make it to the back. The Undertaker's being, pushed out. It says, was it 3-4 words and goes back in. And we've all been on shows. We've been on pay-per-views, indie shows where something goes wrong and the time limit goes a little bit wonky one way or the other. They had to get that in. Unfortunately, I felt like that the Evolution thing may have, and this is as a fan point of view, affected what you may have or may not have done on TV. But you were there and you were invited, and I've seen interviews now with a handful of SmackDown talent that didn't even get invited. So it should mean a lot to you, right?
Well, I'll meet that again. I'm very thankful that I got invited and got to be there all day and see all my friends and. Again, did a WWE.com exclusive. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's very funny, I think. Yeah, man, dude, I don't take that stuff lightly. I don't act like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm very down to earth, and I get it, man. I'm very blessed to be in this position where they're thinking of me. And yeah, there was an idea to do something on the show. It didn't happen, and I'm not going to cry about it. I'm very appreciative of any opportunity, and I promise you I'll have more in the future. That's how I think. I stay positive and I keep going. I'm again been through a lot of ups and downs since the Braun Strowman match. More ups than downs, but it's all been a blessing. I've gotten to travel the world, I've gotten to live my dream, and I'm going to continue to do so. You haven't seen the last of me in WWE, that's the way I feel, and I'm going to prove that.
Did you? What would you say? And I guess I'm maybe trying to prod. Feel free to say pass if you don't want to answer. At what point in the afternoon did they say, hey, unfortunately, you're not going to make the show?
It was like just a few hours before the show. But the Evolution thing had nothing to do with it. I will say that. But yeah, it's just, things change. And that's with anything. Like, anything could change at any time. And I get that, man. Some people might not understand that, but I definitely do, and that's something I've learned and something you have to live with. And you can't look back on it, you can't dwell on it, you got to move forward. And yeah, dude, I'm just blessed to be there and blessed to be even thought of. And I'm going to continue to work hard and stay positive so they keep thinking of me and keep bringing me back and keep using me. And hopefully one day, they'll hashtag rehire Ellsworth.
Were you the only talent back there that did not get used? And I'm not asking for names, but were there other guys that showed up that might have been in the same spot, a SmackDown wrestler that just didn't find a spot either?
I mean, there's always people back there, they would names that are just chilling and not on the show, and that's just, it's just business. So
you went out to dinner afterwards, which was cool. I was waiting for you, by the way.
Waiting for me. Where? Oh, you're in Michigan. I'm in Baltimore.
I was just waiting because we're sitting around. I'm like, I wonder if I'll get the podcast with you. But no, I mean, you get to hang out with Jimmy Seafood with, the club of all people.
Oh, Gallows and Ash are great guys, good dudes, man, good brothers. We went out to eat, and those guys like Gallows I've known for years from the Indies, and before WWE, he was Dorian DeVille, and we worked in the same area, and so I've been cool with him forever. And yeah, dude, we just had a good time there at Jimmy Seafood, as we always do, and it was a blast just hanging out with the boys.
I want in 2019, James. This is podcast goal right here. You and I to do a live podcast at Jimmy Seafood in 2019.
Oh, that's a goal, and once we build up our name enough, I'm sure it'll happen. Well, let's just do it. We gotta build our name up. We gotta keep doing, keep pushing, keep moving. That's what you do, man. You keep fighting no matter what. You keep fighting, you keep building, and you set your goals, and you'll accomplish them.
I like that. Let's take a voicemail real quick. What do you think?
Cool.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let me hit start, and I don't listen to them, so good luck.
James, Tom from Philly here. Hey, with your recent appearance on Impact, is there any chance that you're going to be signed to a long-term deal? I appreciate it. Thanks.
I don't know if you heard that, but the caller...
I heard it. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the only thing sure about James Ellsworth, nothing's for sure. Very happy with what I'm doing right now. And you never know. You never know what I might wake up and decide.
The beauty of this is you have options. And in the wrestling industry, a lot of wrestlers don't have as many options as you have right now.
Dude, it's just a cool character. The James Ellsworth character, you can literally do anything with. You can pick them up at any time and put them in any position, and I will deliver, because that's what I've been trained to do. And dude, I love my character. It's so much fun, and yeah, I think people do understand that. Like, oh man, we could use Ellsworth for this, because it's just a character that will get a reaction, and that's proven. And yeah, so it's cool to have those options and go every place at work and have fun and make money doing what you love to do.
Can I tell a cute little story about you, by the way, James?
No, go ahead.
So I'm sitting here doing podcast stuff. I'd say it was probably Monday night, and I get an email from a guy, never met or talked to, but he runs a wrestling website. And he goes, hey, I know you podcast with James Ellsworth, so I thought I would ask you this question. There's a photo circulating around, and people think it's set up. I go, I reply, all right, cool. Send me the photo. I'll let you know. And he sends me this photo of it's you in a Walmart signing an action figure for a little kid. So I reply, yes, I know that photo. I'm the one who took it. And for a little period of time, it was going around that a bunch of people thought you set that up. And I just want to take this opportunity before we take the last phone calls, wrap this up to say, this was probably the longest you and I got to hang out. And I felt like we became, and this is all true, stepping outside of let's have fun podcast stuff. You and I really clicked and became better friends than we were, the day before, 6 months earlier. We walk into this Walmart, and to see this kid's eyes light up as he's looking at these battle packs, trying to decide which one to get. His parents could not care less. They were, whatever, little Jimmy, pick out whatever you want. And you and I went in with the sole purpose of you were going to sign the figure, do a video that says, hey, come out to the, Trenton Walmart here in Michigan. I signed this photo. First one gets this, sign this battle pack. First one to get here and buy it, it's yours. You hang, and hang it up, and we would just leave. That was the plan. You walk in to go sign this figure, and this kid's eyes light up. And the parents are off in the space, and the kid's just looking at you, and you're like, hey, what's going on? And the parents a little bit weird about it, like, who's he talking to? And he's pointing to the picture like, that's him. I don't know. The kid's probably 4, 5. I would guess, right, James? About that age.
Yeah, man, it was one of those weird things. Like you said, we're just going there. I've posted videos signing action figures before and say, hey, and give away the Walmart address. Come get it. It's signed. It's yours. And walk over there, and the kid's literally looking at my action figure, and he turns around and sees me. Like, I couldn't imagine being a kid and, like, going to, like, I don't know, Toys R Us or KB Toys or whatever it was back in the day, and looking and there's a Doink the Clown, and then Doink the Clown's just there in his big costume or whatever. Like, it would have been crazy. So just to be able to do that, it's just another blessing in my life. And yeah, man, I wouldn't make something like that up. It was very cool. Signed the figure for the kid. His parents, kind of knocking the parents, they were very appreciative of it. I will say that. After
I wasn't knocking. I was just illustrating the fact that once the kid pointed out who you were, they were like, it took them, like, they're holding the figure up like, oh my God, that is him. And you're laughing and joking. And to be able to sit there and kind of watch that was really cool. And I just wanted to say that you don't just do that stuff. I mean, you do it because you love it. We all, as a kid, all of us, at least I've been snubbed from autographs for baseball players growing up. And we all have always said, if I could become rich and famous, I would do all this cool stuff. And here you are, famous, doing all this cool stuff.
Yeah, man, it's just, again, I use the word blessing a lot because that's what it is. And, I don't take it lightly. And I want to continue to do good things with it. And that was just one of those off-the-wall things that happened. I didn't plan on going there and finding a kid that was looking at action figures and signing it. Like you said, I planned on signing one that was just hanging there and posted a video on my Instagram saying, hey, come get it. But he just happened to be there, and it was very cool, man. That was cool to do. I had a lot of fun. The kid was cool, and it was a good time.
By the way, we did breakfast that morning. You go to use the bathroom, and there was, I want to say father, son, maybe father, friend, nephew, babysitter. Couldn't tell the relationship, but he was probably 27, 28, and the kid was probably 9 or 10. You get up to go to the bathroom, and the kid goes, hey. I look over. He goes, is that James Ellsworth? I go, yeah. Yes, it is. He goes, I'm sitting next to someone famous. I go, would you like me to introduce you when he comes back? And you come back. I'm like, James, I want to introduce you to my new friend. And the two were just flipping out. And I'm not saying this because you wouldn't be on this podcast talking about this. But I want people to understand that you let your food go cold to talk to these two people. And I was it made me feel good that there are people that don't take their celebrity status for granted.
Not at all, man. Like, it's crazy because that's what the WWE television, that's how much power that television has. Like, most places I go, 9 times out of 10 I get recognized, and that's the power of WWE television and WWE in general, whether it be their social media, and people, like, when you come off of television, I haven't been on television much this year. I did 2 months of WWE this year, and I did the Impact pay-per-view. It's like I've only been on television a handful of times in 2018, but I had a really good run in 2016 and 2017, and my social media is strong, so people, and I have a very recognizable face. My face doesn't look like anyone else's on this earth, so people remember it. And yeah, man, I'm always nice to everybody as long as they're nice to me, and that's just the way I treat people, and that's the way I'll always be.
Anything else happen over the weekend that we glossed over before we hit these phone calls?
We had, like you said, you touched on a little bit. We had a good time there in Detroit. Went out to breakfast, lunch, and did the XICW show there and at Congo Arena, and that was a good time. They treated me real well. I just wanted to put that out there, and I had a fun little match there, and it was just a good weekend, man. Like I said, I'm just staying very positive. Like, life's too short to, like, you get angry sometimes, you get sad sometimes, but man, I'm proud of myself because I've really matured this year because I've been through a lot, and a lot of ups and a lot of downs, a lot of hardships, and like I look at the brighter picture. I look at the bigger picture, and what's happened to me these last 2.5 years has been the coolest thing in the world, and I'm going to continue to push to make it continue to happen.
Is this the part of the podcast in the happiness where you're like, and you know what, Dennis, you're actually kind of cool?
No, I will never say that, or you got us a nice parking spot there by Congo. I'll admit that.
Hey, thank you, man. I'll take that as you're a pretty cool guy. Thanks.
Yeah. Moving on.
Let's take a couple calls here, and we'll wrap this up for this week. Let's see.
Cute.
Hey there, Dougcast. This is the Bloody Crypt Keeper calling, and I have a question for James Ellsworth and also you, Dennis. And, okay, first off, can I just say it's an absolute honor. I know I'm not able to talk to you guys personally, but I'm a big fan of Ellsworth. I've been a fan since I first seen him debut on SmackDown. And Dennis, both of you guys are awesome with the podcast. I've been listening. I'm a loyal listener. But my question is very simple as this. It's for James Ellsworth. Who is he going to face next in a title defense of the Intergender Championship? Because, it's like you face, divas. But why will you not face any male representatives of GTS or anything like that? Like I said, I don't mean disrespect to Ellsworth or anything like that. And from one podcaster to the next, you guys are doing an awesome job. Keep going at it. Keep working. And all the loyal fans out there, please, 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 show these guys some respect. These guys are legends. Also, feel free to listen to the Bloody Crypt Keeper.
All right. So anyway, sorry I had to cut him short. We were running out of time there. But why won't you face any men, James?
I face men all the time for the intergender title, but he asked who my next title defense was against. It is a woman, Victoria, former WWE Women's Champion, TNA Women's Champion, a legend in the women's realm of the wrestling, and I'm facing her this Saturday, AWE in Virginia, Waynesboro, Virginia. Check out my social media if you want to come see that match. It's going to be a real good one. But yeah, man, I faced guys for the title too. Actually faced Hornswoggle for it a couple of months ago. But yeah, man, it's an equal opportunity championship. Men and women can, try to take it from me.
But let's wrap this up with talking about the Jericho Cruise, which, as of this recording, is just about 10 days away. It seems like just 2 weeks ago we were talking to Chris Jericho on this podcast. As this time pops up, how excited are you now? Because once again, we illustrated everything you've done in the last 14 days, and the way that this thing has been built up, this is just as big as any of those events right now.
Oh man, a lot of people are talking about it, and how cool is it that I get to be a part of it. Chris Jericho is my dude. He has been since day one of my WWE run. I'm very appreciative of everything he's done for me, and I'm going to help him out as much as I can on the Chris Jericho Cruise. Rockin' Rager at Sea, and I'm facing Jenny Rhodes for the intergender title if Victoria doesn't beat me for it before. And I'm going to have a blast, man. It's going to be cool I've never even been on a cruise, so this is great. And I'm not seasick or anything. I love the water. I love the beach. I love all that. So I can't wait, man. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait to see my buddy Chris either. I haven't seen him in a while. So it'll be cool to see him and have a good time there on the Jericho Cruise.
I cannot wait when you come back and we sit down and record and we have a chance to talk about this. Because to me, this isn't like any, I don't want to use the word indie promotion, but this is has the feel of a big show. It's kind of an indie promotion. It's at sea. I can't wait to find out what kind of crew? Is it about the same ring crew that would set up a regular ring? The difference between this and any other promotion that you might have been to? There are a ton of questions and I know that you're a guy that will show up, pay attention, and because you love the business and you love to see how things are put together. So I can't wait to find out how this was put together.
Absolutely, man. It's definitely something a learning. It's going to be a learning experience for sure. It's something totally different from anything I've ever done in the business, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Like I said.
All right. Anything you want to promote before we get out?
Yeah, like I said, this week I'll be in Tampa, Florida on Friday. Autograph session. A lot of Motley Crue guys. I mean, it's a Motley Crue cast there. It's like Skinner, the Warlord, Savio Vega, myself, Hornswoggle, Noel Foley. I don't believe anybody. Raven. Like, it's just like a motley crew of, talent. Come check that out. That's going to be in Tampa, Florida on Friday. Saturday, Wadesboro, Virginia for AWE. And you can, check out my social media for that. Headlined by Sting. Sunday, NWA 70. And then next Tuesday night, I'll probably be talking to you again, Dennis, for the Dogcast.
There we go, guys. Remember, feel free to call the 24/7 Dougcast hotline 231-930-2053. Leave a voicemail. We're very thankful for everybody who called, but if you were to have called and left a voicemail, we would have got to talk to everybody. Unfortunately, I'm looking at it.
Voicemail. Speak up.
Yes.
You'll get on the Dogcast.
You'll get on the Dougcast, and who knows? Maybe one of these podcasts, I'll go, hey, you want to call one of these numbers back? And we may even do that. You don't know.
We will do that.
All right.
As a matter of fact, we're going to do it next week. Call, leave us a question, leave your number, and I'll call two of you back. We're going to have two winners next week. I'm going to do that.
Live on the podcast.
Live on the podcast, on the Dougcast.
On the Dougcast.
Next week.
I don't see Conrad Thompson doing that. I don't see anybody
don't
doing
bury Conrad. I like Conrad a lot. I don't like him doing that. He's a good guy. He's the king of podcasters in the wrestling business. You respect him.
Well, hey, guy, I'm not burying him. I'm just pointing out the difference. Heck, you know what? I don't see P.D. Williams doing that.
No, that's your buddy. I hope he gives you a Canadian destroyer on some thumbtacks that are been in like an oven.
After the way this week went, I don't doubt he will. So it's this week's Dougcast here on WrestlingPerspectivePodcast.com. James, I'll see you next week, my friend.
All right, brother. Take care. Peace.